I'm someone that sees myself in that higher platform with that steep competition. So I want to face that before I get there.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. All right, Eddie. Let's start with 2022, man. Frustrating year for you in many ways.
It was. Yeah, it was in many ways. A lot of opponent switch ups, pull outs, people got injured. Had I was supposed to fight for the CES title in November. The guy missed weight by 8-9 pounds. Super disrespectful, super frustrating. I also dealt with a few nagging injuries and stuff like that myself, which held me back some. But that was the past. It's the future, and I'm feeling great this year and just positive and looking forward to a great year.
That's great, man. That's great. You returned in March and got a decision win. After such a long layoff, how did you feel at the start of that fight, and then as you slowly progressed throughout the fight?
I felt great in the back warming up. Everything felt good, and I just kept on telling my corners and my head coach Nick, I was like, I'm just ready to fight. I want to go. I'm ready to fight. And once I got into the fight, I instantly felt good. I found my range right away, and everything felt smooth. And the deeper into the fight it went, I felt more and more comfortable. And I believe nothing's going to change with this quick turnaround. I'm just going to be just as comfortable as I was going into that last fight and be in my happy place and put on a great performance.
How do you look at yourself when you watch your fights over again? Like, what are you looking for?
I'm my biggest critic. So I, in fights, certain sequences happen, and then I'll feel like I did something I shouldn't have done, or like I would get hit. I might get hit with something that I feel I shouldn't have got hit with. So when I go back and watch the fight, it's kind of hard for me to look at that stuff, and I get kind of upset with myself. But like I said, I'm my biggest critic. Some of this stuff is things that the normal eye wouldn't even pick up on. You'd have to be in my shoes and be in the fight to realize it. But that's okay because I take those criticisms I give myself and I go back into the gym, the following week and a half, 2 weeks after I take the time off and work on those things I did wrong or I wasn't happy with to make sure I never do them again.
So when you watch your own fights, is it an enjoyable experience, or are you just too
No,
critical? So it's
it's,
not.
it's it's not enjoyable at all. I usually have Nick watch it with me to
Okay.
calm me down and be like, "Hey, relax. It's okay. It's okay." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. I should have did this here. I should have did this here." And so he has to watch them with me, and he has to talk me off the ledge. But that's only because I always strive for perfection. And like I said, I'm my biggest critic. But I don't watch my fights over and over again. I might watch them twice, and then I never watch them again, win or lose. Because I believe just because you win a fight, you shouldn't hold on to it. It's okay to go back and watch and see things that you should have done or didn't do right, make adjustments, and then work on those adjustments, but forget about that last fight because that's the past.
How much of what you prepared that past year came out in that fight that you just had?
I would say pretty much almost everything. I didn't show too much of my jujitsu. That's a part of my game that I haven't shown yet at all. But I work on my jujitsu a lot. It just hasn't been a point where I need to pull it out. And but I worked a lot of the stuff I worked on in that fight. I didn't know too much about that guy going into it. I knew he was a D1 collegiate wrestler, undefeated pro boxer, and someone that was 4-1 in MMA with a lot of finishes, and that's it. There wasn't really any tape to study on him. A small clip from his Instagram that my wrestling coach found. So it was just work certain possibilities that he could, do. And I feel I executed everything that I prepared for in that fight. And that's why I was able to stuff all of his takedowns, chop at his legs, weaken his structure. So his boxing was as crisp and his shots were slower. And yeah, I felt I put on a very good performance. The cage was very slippery. I felt like I was on ice skates the whole time, and it was really hard to get my gripping to really get any torque on my punches. So it was kind of like molasses Nate Diaz, just like bomb, 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 bomb. But it was cool. That's the beautiful thing about this sport and this game is the outside variables that you can't control that you have to overcome. And I just, made the adjustment and fought the fight how I could fight it. And, I wasn't able to get the finish, but I was still able to put it on him for 15 minutes.
We gotta get Calvin Cater on the phone and fix that
No,
mat.
it's not his problem. It's not
I
his
know,
fault.
I know. I
It
just
was a
messing.
great, it was, Calvin's my boy. I'm not throwing shade at him. You know what the thing was? I believe it was just like such a new canvas
Yeah.
that it just wasn't like worked out. It was just so new. That's it.
Yeah, we see that.
But
We see that from time to time. Sometimes the canvas
yeah,
can get slippery.
yeah, yeah. It was mad slippery, but it's all good. I wasn't really able to torque into any shots, but it made me fight a different way, which is only going to make me better because if you could do the same thing every time and you're good at that, but then a wrench gets thrown in the system one day and now you're like, oh, I can't perform because it's not exactly the same. That's not setting yourself up for success. So I'm cool with the outside variables being changed. If I had to fight someone outside in the rain, I would be down for that too because it's like, all right, I'll make it work. Winners win.
In the rain too, like it's raining
In the
too.
rain, dog. Rain. In the
Rain.
rain. I fought outside in a tent. It was actually pretty cool. And during the pandemic,
Okay.
I got a fight in September, mid-pandemic, and it was like fall time. It was super cold. I could see my breath, and it was an open tent outside, and it was like really different and cold, but got it done also. So yeah, I don't let any of these things phase me. It's just I go out there with a mindset to do what I have to do to win, and that's what I do.
CS 73, man. You're back. You're facing Yemi. He's 9-4. Pretty experienced,
Hmm.
man. What do you think of him?
He's definitely experienced. I watched a little bit of him, not too much. I don't like to overstudy my guys. I watch a little bit, and then it's my team that really breaks them down and then builds the game plan around it. He seems like a guy that likes to throw his hands. He kind of pops his jab a lot, but he doesn't really. He'll shoot in for takedowns. If you start hitting him, he likes to shoot in. Likes to push against the cage. But I think that he hasn't really fought that many tough people. He only fought one tough guy. That was his last fight, and he looked like a shell of himself. So with that said, I believe I bring something to the table that he hasn't faced in most of his fights. And I believe I'm going to take the bully, which I believe he's a bully. When you watch his fights, he bullies people. But when you take him out of his element of being able to be a bully and he starts getting bullied, he kind of shuts down. And I plan on doing that in a very tactical, smart fashion.
How important is it to face guys that are tough, like guys that will get punched 15 times, but they're still coming forward. They're bloody, but they're still like a zombie, right? It's so important, right?
Yeah.
Before you get to the big leagues, you got to be able to face guys like that because everybody's tough in the big leagues, and there's nobody that's gonna wilt.
100%. Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say exactly that. To fight tough guys in steep competition, people that want to get hit, people that could take the damage and keep going, you need that because exactly what you said. I am someone that sees myself in that higher platform with that steep competition. So I want to face that before I get there. It's kind of like doing myself a disservice if you fight guys that just lay down after two punches all the way through your career, and then you get a shot to go and perform in the UFC or another one of these high level platforms, and then you face some real adversity, and you're like, oh shit, like I hit this guy and he's still there. What am I gonna do? So I believe it's very important. If you take your career seriously, which I do, and I want to have a long, successful career, so I believe it's important. You don't want to go out there and take a lot of damage every time and be stupid, but you definitely need to fight tough people
Yeah.
to test yourself.
No doubt, man. You see some guys go into to UFC, Bellator, whatnot, the major promotions, and it got romantic for some reason. Like it got all dark.
It's
It's all good. It's all good.
it was emotion. I didn't move. It
Yeah,
was a little
yeah. Um, So go back to what I was saying about like guys that are tough. You do see guys get into the UFCs and Bellators, and they're very tough, and they get in there, and then you start to understand. Now there's a skill gap as well. You know what I mean? Like they can
Yeah,
take the shots, but they rely on that too much, and next thing you know, they become highlight reels for other fighters. And
yeah,
leading up to getting signed, that's another important thing as well, right? To develop your skills, to test out your skills, and it seems like
100%.
you're doing it against this opponent that's coming up.
Yes, yeah, I agree. He's a very worthy adversary. That's how I would put it. He's not some. I feel like he's not a world beater, but he's not a bum. I feel like he's someone that did a good bit of can crushing, but it's okay. Is what it is. He is skilled, and he is going to bring a fight. Um, the thing is, it's like, how fast can I break that man and make him melt? And that's going to be the tides. He's going to come out strong. He's going to fight tough for a while, but once you keep pushing it and putting it on him, it's, is he still going to be there towards the end of the first and the second? And if it goes that far, is he going to be there through the whole third round? Because I promise you, I am. I have cardio for days. I can go and go and go. I don't get tired. I showed in my last two fights, I'm able to keep going, pushing the same output and pace that I put out in the first round. So I hope he's prepared and ready for that.
I'm kind of wondering why they didn't put you in a title fight in the
So it's a catch weight. I asked for a catch weight because I just fought
okay.
on the 15th of March, and I wasn't sure if I could um, make 55 that close with the cutting. I safety. This sport's important, and I want to put on good fights, but safety comes first.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make sure I wasn't doing too much damage to my body with cutting that weight back to back. It was just something that I said, and everyone understood. And also, on top of that, I know my very good friend Nate Garib is the title holder at lightweight, so that's that belt's already occupied. And if I was to fight for that belt, it would be me and him fighting, and that's something that's not going to happen.
Oh.
So yeah,
Well,
title fight. Go ahead.
yeah, well, completely understandable by the way you
Yeah,
explain it is like, other certain guys, they will just say like, let's fight at 155, knowing that they probably might not make it, but at least you're truthful about
Mhm.
it, man, and said like,
Yeah,
no, I'm
man,
not
like
gonna make it.
100%. And what really kind of gave me more knowledge and like understanding that was when that guy that I was supposed to fight, November Angel, whatever his last name was, missed weight by 8 pounds and didn't say anything. I cut all the weight. And once I got done cutting weight, then they called 2 hours before weigh-ins, like, hey, he's not going to make it. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, this guy had so much time. He's like, what, you're not going to make it? And then he didn't even try. I offered him to go to 160. Gave him a unlimited time limit. Usually you get 2 hours to make a second attempt. I talked to the commission and they agreed, if I was cool with it, that he could have as long as he wanted, to even the next day, to chill a little bit and cut. And if he made 160, then we'd fight. And they brought the offer to him, and he said no, he wouldn't cut any more weight. He wasn't sucked out, and that was that. So after experiencing that, it kind of gave me some perspective of putting myself in that situation where I don't want to do someone the same disservice that was done to me. Is like, I probably could make 55 again, but I just fought, I just cut weight.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be respectful and not risk it and not make someone deplete themselves completely and risk me not being able to make it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because if you did and then you did miss weight, that's on your record. You know what I mean? Even though you
Yeah,
fought, you know what I mean? That's still like you missed weight. So, you know,
yeah,
people look at that as well. Um,
yeah.
what are you expecting, man? In this one, man, you're coming off the win 2 months ago. Now
Mm-hmm.
it's time for you to ring out or not ring out, ride out a couple more, keep the undefeated record. And a lot of people are probably calling your name for the contender series or whatnot or something. You know what I mean? Coming up, Boston. I heard Boston's gonna have a pay per view at the end of the year. What's up,
Yeah,
man?
bro. That would be dope. I would like to jump on a Boston car. That'd be so cool. So yeah, I plan on getting this win. I believe I'm gonna get a second round finish.
Mhm.
I believe I'm gonna finish him in the second round. When in the second round, I don't know. It doesn't matter, but I believe I'll finish him in the second round. And if it goes to the third, then that's cool. If it goes the distance, that's cool. That just means I beat him up for 15 minutes. But I believe that I can and I will finish him in the second round. And then after that, that puts me at 7-0. And just like you said, Contender Series is starting to cast. They're starting their show in August and it's going all the way to November. So I would like to jump on that. And, if that's not an option, then I'll just keep on banging out fights. I
Mhm.
would like to stay active this year. I'm looking in my mind after this fight to get a good 3, 4 more fights this year. I want to stay very active. Maybe a short notice UFC call. Who knows? Even like there's PFL, Bellator, all
Mhm.
these other promotions. I'm not going to limit myself. I know this is my year that I'm going to break out and do big things. And I just got to keep an open mind and keep working hard and stay safe and healthy.
Definitely, definitely, man. Yeah, man. You're at the top of the list in the
I
Northeast.
appreciate it.
You know what I
Thank
mean?
you, brother. I
So
appreciate that.
you're without a doubt, you know what I mean? If anybody's watching the region out there, you're one of the guys. So go out there, do your thing, man. May 12th, CES 73. It's a
Hmm.
pretty damn good card, man. You got the main event, which has some animosity if you've been following like what's going on between those
Yeah,
boys.
he's
And
talking shit to Will Knight, bro. I don't even know why. Will Knight's such a nice guy. He's a killer, but he's such a
yeah,
nice guy. It's so funny.
it is. It is funny, man.
And
Oh,
then yeah, and then I just found out. Was it today or yesterday? I just found out that I'm the co-main, so that's pretty dope.
yeah.
So people got some exciting second to last and last fights. But it's a good card. There's a lot of good people on there. It's gonna be some great fights. I'm excited. I can't wait. Counting down the days. Getting this water load down, and then come Wednesday, start cutting weight. Weighing on Friday, then just chill with my team. Put the weight back on Friday. Get to have some fun.
All right, there you go, man. Appreciate the time, man. All the best in this fight, and all the best in getting a quick turnaround again, and rolling with it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Plan on it. Appreciate you.